Hey guys, it is Monday here in West Virginia, so it's time for us to do our Mopar Monday. We got a couple to crack open for you and a loose one that I recently picked up. I thought we were going to have more for today, but I guess the mail is still behind because of the holidays. They're still trying to catch up a little bit. And in the near future, meaning within the next week or two, hopefully sooner, but depends on the mail service, we will be getting some loose cars to take a look at. Something for everybody too. There's going to be some Fords, some GM stuff, and Mopar stuff. And then, of course, we got some more lowriders coming. And we also are going to have some customs that we're going to be working on. As soon as I get that order in, I got some custom parts coming for some cars to do wheel swaps on and to do some lowrider base swaps on. So we'll see how that goes when it comes in. So anyways, we'll take a look at the loose one that I picked up. This is a really cool color combo. It is a red with a black stripe, but it has a white top and white interior as an air grabber hood. It is a 71 Super B from M2. And this is one of their older releases when they still took a little bit of pride in their product and the lines and such were okay. They're never perfect. Like this door kind of sticks out a little bit. And this one is nice and flush, but as you can see, the front part of the door sticks out on this side. But that's tolerable. I can live with that. It's the ones where the gaps are huge or the door's hanging down like the hinges are wore out like a real car. So those are the ones that I don't really care much for. And we get a lot of those nowadays. That's why I'm kind of happy to say, and to see, I should say, the new castings from M2 do not have opening doors like the newer stuff, like the Regal and thing in the new Challenger. No opening doors, and I do like that because the gaps you don't have to worry about being off. But yeah, this is a sweet car, color match bumpers, and it does have exposed headlights, not opening headlights, and it is a Hemi car. And I think I told you guys this before when we looked at some of my other part of the collection. I have a 71 Super B from Greenlight, and it looks all bone stock. It's black, and it has white stripes. And that's not a factory option for the 71 Dodge B-body, I should say, and I think also Plymouth B-body in 71. But for sure, the Dodge, the Charger, Super Bs, you could only get the black stripe on. You could not get white stripes. But because it looked so much like a factory option, that's why I put it in over there in my wall of B-bodies, I call it. And then, anyways, this guy will go over there too, but he will be on the shelf with the other M271s. I have like 10 or so 71 B-body from M2 machines, and I have a hauler, a Mopar hauler, with like 4 of them on the back of it, and few of them surrounding the hauler, and this will go over there in that display. So really cool car, metal, and I don't know if you're a new subscriber or new viewer, but I pointed this out before on M2s. You can see how the chassis is all metal, but it has this little plastic area here. That is so that they can put different size tires on the same chassis, and the only thing they have to change is a little plastic insert plate. Sometimes they're very narrow, so you can get really big slicks like Pro Street, Pro Stock style wheels on it. And then other times they're like this to accommodate just factory style wheels. So pretty cool that they did that. And like the top part of it is metal, just this bottom piece is plastic. And yeah, kind of a cool concept to save a little bit on production cost. So that's it for this guy. Now let's go crack open some Autoworld stuff. And today we got 2 Autoworld cars, one E-body and one C-body. And we'll go ahead and start with the E-body. This is a nice one. It's a 70 Dodge Challenger in B5 blue with a white stripe, black interior, and the black shaker hood, very cool. And it's limited to one of 5,500. And then the premium facts on this, 1970 was the first year of the Dodge Challenger. Yep. And it was the first year for the E-bodies. And then many design cues from the modern Dodge Challenger were derived from the original styling, as most people can see that. It's obvious. And this is when Autoworld is still giving you like a little collector box, which I always love that fact. In case you have to move them around, you want to store them for a while, you got that little box. Especially if you're an opener, those come in handy, and I'm an opener. So anyways, this is Collect All 6 in 2019, release 3. So Muscle Wagons was a 69 Chevy Kingswood Estate. Modern Muscle had the 2017 Ford Mustang GT. Vintage Muscle was a 65 Mercury Comet Cyclone, a 61 Dodge Dart Phoenix, a 70 Dodge Challenger RT, and a 64 Plymouth Barracuda. So let's get this guy out and take a look at him. And first, we'll spin around on this collector box. The box doesn't really have anything different on it. It just says True Scale and has a pic of the car. And on the bottom, keep track of the collection. Go to autoworldgarage.com. And that's pretty much it. All you have on your box here. So, the car. And this is, well, what they refer to technical. It is bright blue poly, but to most Mopar guys, it's B5 blue. That is the term that 99% of Mopar guys use. You don't really hear many guys saying, yeah, I have a Charger and it's bright blue poly. They're usually going to say, I have a Charger and it's B5 blue. Something like that. So this car is very nicely done by Autoworld. I just don't really care much for Autoworld's Mopar rallies. I always thought they looked a little too small, and it made the tires that they make for them to accommodate those little wheels. It makes the tires look flat, like the sidewalls are flat. It doesn't have that contour like it should. But it's okay. I can tolerate it because besides that, this is the nicest Challenger that you can get in 1/64th. Cool plate, 446 pack car. And if you have good eyes, you could read that up here. 446 pack on the shaker. And when you open it, it's got the narrower valve covers without the plugs in the top of the valve cover. And this one doesn't have a radiator hose. A lot of the motors for Autoworld, like when you open the hood, you'll see radiator hoses, the whole 9 yards. They do a great job in their motor compartments. But still, yet this is fantastic looking, even though there's no radiator hose. You still have the alternator there, which is painted a different color. Your overflow for the radiator there, and then your radiator itself. So really nice details. Nice detail on the grill. Painted, detailed headlights and marker lights. Same thing with the side marker lights. The Challenger emblem is there. Detailed door handles, the gas cap. Detailed tail lights. And the exhaust outlets in the rear roll pan. Detailed undercarriage too. Very nice car. Glad to have this one in the collection. And we have a few more loose Autoworld Challengers coming in the next week or two. We'll be showing you guys some, I think they're 73s and 4s for the most part. So the next guy on the list is this big boat here. This is Vintage Muscle, but this really should have been in the Land Yacht series. And, but this is the premium facts for Autoworld. The 383, let's get this to focus. Cubic inch D500 Ram induction V8 engine had an innovative manifold design aided by the functional vents in the hood. I did not know that. So consumers were highly critical of the low tail lights on these cars. Later in the year, dealer installed auxiliary tail lights were available that were positioned much higher. Never knew that either. So, anyways, this is it. In what color is this? Spring green. That's a cool name. And this is from also 2019 release 3. So this is from the same lineup as the 446 pack Challenger. So no need to go over the lineup. We just read that. So let's go ahead and get this guy out and take a look at him. Quick spin around on the box. Same thing. Pick of the car, the series, and the name of the car, saying it's True 164th. Nothing on top, on the bottom. Where to find Autoworld's list of vehicles, I guess. Because it says you can keep track on AutoWorldGarage.com. I never checked out that website, to be honest with you guys. I've always just went to the Autoworld store, and that's it. So, it's like an earthquake. Okay. So, this one's 61 D500. That's pretty cool. And I guess I could see the tail lights maybe being a problem, but I don't know. They're not that low. But maybe in a real life, on a 1-to-1, if you're standing behind it, it may seem a little bit different. But I bet the auxiliary tail lights that they had added to them are pretty ugly. I bet you they were just a light on a pedestal that they screwed down to the quarter panel. So, yeah, I probably would not have opted for those if I would have had one of these cars. And this one has different wheels and tires than this car usually has. Usually it comes with wide white walls with the original like spinner style hubcap. But this has similar to a Mopar Rally, but with a different hole design. Almost looks like GM Rally wheels in a way. And white letter Firestone tires. And opening hood. Let's get this hood open a little. Yeah, this has the really weird cross ram. Cross ram is usually where you have staggered carburetors on a manifold, meaning they hang over the side. Your manifold will hang over or be elevated right above your valve covers. Like the DZ302 69Z28, they had a cross ram option, which is really a more, how can I say, more well-performing intake than what this was. And even Mopar came up with a better design later on with their like max wedge cars. They had more of like a flat cross ram intake where you had one carburetor staggered off to like the left upper part of the engine, then the other one would be staggered back to the right back part of the motor. So yeah, they came up with a little bit more well-performing cross ram setup, but still pretty cool. I mean, they had those intake runners going into the heads and stuff, but it just looks like that would have been a little bit hard on the performance with having to go uphill with the intake. I don't know. But anyways, still, yeah, it looks really cool. So that's pretty much it for this big guy. Nice detail in the grille and headlights and nice detailed undercarriage. Yeah, I'm a Mopar guy through and through. I do love some GMs, obviously. But this car here, I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this car. I like early 60s Mopars, like even the 62 Dart, and that's kind of an ugly car in a lot of people's perspective, but in my opinion, I really like them. Same thing with like the 62 Plymouth Savoy. I think it's pretty much the same car, or Savoy, however you want to pronounce it. But these guys here, yeah, I'm just not a big fan of them. To be honest, the only reason I got that one is because it was included with the purchase of that one. So that's the main reason I got it. So that's it for our Mopar Monday. 3 new Mopars to throw in the collection. And we'll be back again, probably in the middle of the week with something. Because as I said, I got a lot of stuff coming in. I'm hoping for the custom parts to be here soon. But we'll see how things go. They're still going through customs in Chicago. My custom parts are in customs. So anyways, Guys, that's it for today. I appreciate you watching. We'll be back again at the very latest on Friday for a Free It Friday. Be sure to turn on your notification bell so you know if we do drop any spontaneous videos. Have a great week.